Hey, everybody. We are live here on Friday night. Welcome to a Rabbit and Red Review live edition. I have been on a pretty good flight this evening. Started out with a Kilbeggan small batch rye, which is actually quite a tasty one. And from there, moved into a Knob Creek single barrel store pick, which is I think a 12 or 13 year, solid stuff. And am now working on a Glen Scotia 15-year-old, which is pretty delicious. And tonight's going to be a lot of fun because we are being joined by my younger brother, who's going to be coming back after putting his young kids down to sleep. Going to be joining us streaming from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we are going to be doing a live tasting of a 11-year-old Roses OESV store pick we both picked up just this weekend, or pardon me, past weekend when he was visiting me here in DC. So excited to be here with you all tonight, and hope everybody's having a good evening. Love to hear what you guys are all sipping on. It looks like we got 4 people in the chat now. Whiskey Ace, nice to see you. Donner Pass says, greetings, happy Friday. Right back at you. Richie Z, hey Eric. Richie, nice to see you as well. Nice to have you guys join us on a balmy summer evening here in Washington, D.C. Not sure where you all are, but I hope the weather is treating you all pretty well. I have to say, just to kind of start things off, this Glen Scotia 15, which is something that I've been a really big fan of for some time, is really doing me well. They come out of the Glengyle distillery, I think, in Campbelltown, and one of those whiskeys that has a little bit of that signature Campbelltown flavor to it, but also is, that I don't know what you call it, that mustiness to some degree, a la Springbank, but it's a little bit more on the refined side and really tasty. In fact, I think you can find this stuff still. It's one of these kind of fly under the radar whiskeys. You can still find this in the like $60 range around the US. And if you get the opportunity, you should definitely do it. Richie Z says it's Friday and very warm here in Cali. Right on. Well, from the East Coast to the West Coast, I'll raise a glass to you, Richie. Not sure where you are in Cali, but good to hear that the weather's treating you really well. Richie says, have I tried the Glen Scotia Victoriana? No, I haven't had that one. I've actually only had the 15 of the Glen Scotia.
Yo.
Is one of those. Hey.
I said hi before, and I don't think you heard me.
There he is. So my brother has joined us. We got 4 people watching. Donner Pass says, nice stuff. Probably the mellowest Campbelltown. I totally agree with you. Bay Area, right on. Go Warriors, yeah. You guys, I was hoping my Milwaukee Bucks would be the ones. But it looks like you get the Raptors.
Hey, man, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Good. I invited my next door neighbor Phil, my fellow whiskey comrade here, to join us for our little conversation tonight.
Excellent. Great to have you guys. Love to hear what you guys are sipping on.
Right now I have a King Sue, which is delicious. But I'm going to pour something here in a second. I have some water.
Phil's getting primed up. Awesome. Yeah, my brother was here visiting me.
Water in there, bro.
You got to. My younger brother was here visiting me in DC. Well, about a weekend and a half ago, and we stopped into a place called Edgewood Liquors, and Edgewood Liquors is out in rural Maryland. We were actually heading out to the Bay, perhaps stumbled across a single barrel store pick for 4 Roses at 11 years old. So we're really excited. We're going to crack this open in a little bit.
First of all, we're going to have a taste of this. This is Blum Brothers Venata Rye. It's a family beer and liquor pick, also known as the Rye Bros. Looks like kind of like a Goodfellas thing on there, a little sticker action. But so this is about a 5-year rye, and so those of you who don't know about Blaum, MGP sourced product. They're in Galena, Illinois, putting out some really awesome stuff. Especially the 12-year cask strength bourbon is fantastic. They also do a 10-year, and they are putting out their own distillate. I think they have a 5 or 6 year of their own, but the MGP source stuff is where it's at.
They have a 6-year.
They have a 6-year, yeah. But the MGP source stuff is awesome, and it's going crazy on the secondary market right now. Everybody's after this stuff, and if you're able to find a bottle, especially you have the 12, you got to buy it. It's really great. But this is the rye. We're just going to take a sample of this. And Eric, I actually should send you a sample of this.
Where's your bottle?
You definitely should. You definitely should. I don't know if any of y'all in the chat have had any of the Blom Brothers stuff before, but we'd love to hear.
Yeah, so this is the regular you was talking about.
That's the 12-year cask strength. It's what, 114?
Oh, nice. The cask strength too, huh?
Yeah, 114 proof. It's fantastic stuff, man.
Great.
But we're going to take, before we get into the roses, we're going to
do a pour.
Yeah.
Cheers. So we got a couple folks in the chat with us. We got Richie Z, who's a great whiskey tuber. You'll catch him in chats all over the place. We also have Whiskey Ace, who joined me on my 100th anniversary video, and Donner Pass Whiskey's here as well. Bunch of good whiskey heads that always have good insights to share. They join a bunch of different streams that I've been part of, and have been giving me good comments on some of the reviews I've done too. So we'll definitely raise a glass to y'all.
Yeah, cheers, fellas.
So my brother is much more of a bourbon head, whereas I'm a fan of the bourbon, but a little bit leaning towards the Scotch. And Evan, I'd love to, feel free to share a little bit about how you got into bourbon and some of the pours that you've had since you've kind of went on your journey, and the ones that have really been remarkable to you.
Sure. Yeah, so like my brother alluded to, it's not terribly into the Scotch game, mostly not because I don't like it, but mostly because I like bourbon more, and I probably spend enough on bourbon as it is to not get into buying bottles of Scotch. But I definitely appreciate it, and I think there's a lot to be said about the a lot of people say that they don't like bourbon because it's it all kind of tastes the same. You have most of the same kind of tasting notes, while Scotch is kind of all over the place between the peated stuff and the single malt stuff, and
sherry.
What's that?
The sherry influenced stuff.
Yeah. And so I get that. I think that there's a lot more variety in the flavor profiles of Scotch, but bourbon was my first love, and it's hard to give that up. But it all started for me probably like five years ago, maybe a little bit more, and I was just drinking Bullet. That was like, I thought that was good for a $20 bottle. It was good stuff.
Bullet just put out, I think it's a 12-year.
Yeah, rye.
12-year-old rye. I got to admit, I'm really interested in that. They also have a barrel strength. I don't know if it's a 10-year, but it's a barrel strength bourbon that I've honestly not ever gotten.
It's 12-year. It's a barrel proof 12. Yeah.
That's got to be good. I've not got my hands on it. I don't know if any of y'all in the chat have tried any of the more aged Bullet.
I've heard it's not worth the price point, but to each their own. It's very subjective, and it's what you like and what you're willing to spend.
Yeah, it's definitely a budget friendly bourbon. Bullet is, and I like it. It's not what I'm going to go to. I'm not going to reach for it to drink it neat. But
Evan Williams single barrel,
Evan. For
it's like
a budget friendly single barrel. It's that you can drink neat.
I've seen it anywhere from 20 to 24, $25.
Yeah, and it's a solid deal for that stuff.
Oh man, the Evan Williams. I'm totally with you. The Evan Williams single barrel.
Highly underrated.
if
wanna get in this,
for the
Debbie?
quality that you get out of that, like, and it's like what, $25 or something like that. It's
That's
Yeah.
the highest I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's actually at our cost right now, $19.99 plus tax.
Jeez.
in the
Just give me a case of it, man. That's all I. You'll be set.
Inject it into my veins.
And my
No, don't do that, you'll
beautiful
die.
wife is going to take a pour of the Nodder too.
Hang on.
Debbie, she doesn't want to come on camera, but she's all about the Weller.
Oh God, the Weller. So a couple folks in the chat. So my Richie Z says that he actually has the barrel strength bullet, and Donner Pass Whiskey says he says the bullet barrel strength is great, but he doesn't really care for the regular bullet.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean,
I like Bullet Rye. Bullet Rye is a great,
it's a good Manhattan maker.
well, it's a great. Actually, don't knock it till you try it, but on a hot summer day, bourbon and sweet tea.
Yeah.
Damn, man! I thought you were in Wisconsin, not in Biloxi, Mississippi. You're talking about
Fucking legit, man. I'm telling you. You put in a big old mug and
Yeah.
So
I feel you. I was thinking about, other bourbons that I think are just like total steals for the price. I think the Evan Williams might be the best deal out there, but Knob Creek single barrel, the single barrel reserve, which is at like 60% ABV. You can find that for not the store picks. The store picks can be in the like 45, 50 range. But the regular stuff you can find for like $30 to $35. I've just always thought that is just one of the best deals you can get.
yeah,
And
there's a lot of 14-year-old picks going around, and actually, so
Yeah.
Jim Beam they stopped the barrel program for Knob Creek. It's done. I mean, for the time being, because I don't think they have any barrels left. And the Four Roses is really cut back too. And the interesting thing, I guess we could talk about that more when we start looking at our Four Roses pick, but. It's since bourbon obviously has blown up crazy proportions. The barrel programs at a lot of these distilleries have really, really cut back because their supply is running pretty short. So with Four Roses, back at probably like 5+ years ago, you were finding 11+ year picks all the time. Like
Right.
that was the only thing that was out there, and now you're hard pressed to find anything over close to 10. So most of the stuff is between 7 and 9 now. When you're at any liquor store and they have a Four Roses pick, check the age statement on it, and it's probably going to be less than 10.
Yeah.
So the fact that you and I found this one in Mayo, Maryland,
Right.
that's 11 years 1 month. I mean, that's a buy right away. I mean, anything, especially an OESV, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Barrel strength,
I guess the point is, so Knob Creek, they identified that they were running short on barrels in their barrel program, and
plus now they're blending that with Centauri to get the Legion.
Which I still haven't had that.
They're giving up juice somewhere.
I haven't had the Legion yet either. I'm pretty curious about it. I mean, I don't know. The idea of like a bourbon with like quote unquote Japanese single malt characteristics is kind of an interesting concept, but I've heard that it's not bad.
I've heard it's really good, but
it's not anything that earth shattering, right? I mean, it's not like
like it fits at the price point, because I think it's like a $35 to $40 bottle, something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone I've heard has pretty much said that it's pretty much right spot on what you expect at the price point. So
yeah. So catching up on the chat here. So Donner Pass Whiskey says yes to Robin Road Reviews. Richie Z says Knob Creek standard single barrel is awesome and priced just right. Yeah, I agree. Richie also says that the OESV store picks, now Richie is in the Bay Area in California. Picks I'm picking up Tuesday are 10-year in some months. Yeah, that's great. I think that 10-year, you see them sometimes at 9. I've made it through about half of the 10 variations of their the different mash bill yeast strain recipes.
Well, there are only 10, Eric.
Yeah, I've done half of those, and
like tic-tac-toe to
right, exactly right. But the most of the ones that I found were just like late, like 9-year, 8 month, 9-year, 4 month. So it's a test. It's
but again,
what you were talking about.
If you can, there's picks out there from, like 5+ years ago that are in the 12s, 12, 13s. And if you ever can,
I thought there were 14s.
There are, yeah, I think there are 14s too, but I mean, they're few and far between now. I mean, you're never going to find one in the store, right? Unless it's maybe like Lincoln Road would have one, but just
you're not going to get it cheap.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I think too, I mean, I guess whatever. Yeah. Do you want to get into the roses now? Or
Yeah. A few more minutes. I'm going to finish this.
What are you drinking, Eric?
I am drinking a Glen Scotia 15-year-old. This is a Campbell single malt from Campbelltown, 46% ABV. Awesome stuff, and also a pretty good deal for the age and the quality. I think this is in that like 60 to 65 range. Just freaking incredible Scotch.
Hey, did you get that? Did you get the package yet or no?
I didn't get the package. It's supposed to come tomorrow.
Interesting. We'll
talk about that. I'll definitely reveal what the package is relatively soon, because it's quite an amazing deal of the century type situation. But just to finish up on that Knob Creek thing, it's interesting that they're going to be shutting down the barrel program for a while, because I actually just scored 2 Knob Creek single barrel store picks that are from 2 different barrels, but 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I've seen 14s. I have a 14. I have a 13.
Got them retail?
It was 47 a piece.
That's actually
for a 15-year bourbon. That's a good
cheap.
Insanely cheap. Yeah. And I just think that like the quality of the Knob Creek stuff is just
I've never had one I don't like.
Yeah, me neither.
And that's interesting because another barrel program that's really popular right now that virtually every reputable liquor store has is the Old Forester store.
I thought you were gonna go New Riff.
Oh no, again, New Riffs are great, yeah. But the Old Forester, and I find those to be hit or miss. Did we lose you, Eric?
No, I'm here. I've actually never had any of the Old Foresters. I have an Old Forester single barrel store pick.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I have one from a place called Third Base out in California.
Yeah, Third Base is.
I've not opened it yet though.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them, honestly. And quite honestly too, I think some of the Knob Creek picks that I've had aren't anything. Some of them are just like astringent to me, like.
Interesting. So the one that I'm drinking right now, I think this is a 13. It's from Randall's Wine and Spirits, which is Missouri. Awesome. This one is just awesome. I was drinking on earlier.
Randall's, I've had their picks before.
They have a Four Roses pick right now.
They have an Elijah Craig pick too, I think too.
Yeah, that
was pretty tasty.
Oh, you know what, Eric? Total Wine at the Total Wine here, they have an Elijah Craig's pick, a 15-year Elijah Craig pick for $28.
Buy every one of them. That's not.
I would buy them all. Like the price point, it's just ridiculous. Like $28 for a 15-year. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but
did you got one?
Mm-hmm. But the problem is that they're not age stated. So it's like we were going off of. I was there when the distributor was stocking it on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
And I asked him about it, and I said, "Oh man, there's no age statement." He said it's 15 years, and I was like, "Really?"
That's
so I'm gonna have to check that with Heaven Hill and see if it really is 15 year. But then for $28, I was like, "Yeah, that's a
right, yeah, exactly."
All right, are you ready for the?
Yeah, let me just catch up on the chat. So Donner Pass Whiskey says, seems like they would sell it crazy. Donner, I'm assuming you're talking about the 15-year-old or the Knob Creek Cortex. Yeah, I think for that price, no doubt, those things would sell like wildfire, and they should. Richie Z says, Four Roses are shutting down the barrel program for a while, from what I've heard from the owner of the place. I'm getting the Four Roses picks. Barrels are going to that new Select bottle. Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. The barrels, the small batch Select.
What's the small batch select about?
That's
You guys, I mean, you guys might have to be a little bit more in tune with the bourbon stuff. I'll let you explain it.
Well, here,
I
have one. I'll go grab it. It's a new product line for Four Roses.
It's like it's their 100 proof release. I believe it's non-chill filtered. He's got to run down the bat cave.
Down to the bourbon bunker.
Yeah, he's got a nice little bunker down there.
Yeah, he does. The degenerate. I've seen it and I hear about it every single. I get texts about it all the time. I know he just got a Fitzgerald 13 or something like that, which is pretty funny. It's like he said he got a pretty good deal on it.
Oh, this looks tasty.
Yeah.
So,
there it is.
So this is small batch select. It's basically
104 proof. Actually, I said 100 earlier. It's
104 proof. And so everybody knows like the Four Roses small batch, right? It's the same bottle, all that kind of deal. But so this is like stated NCF, so non-chill filtered, 104 proof. It's going to be a new product line, like permanent product line, from what I understand. But it's only being distributed in 5 states right now. So you're gonna have to buy it online if you're not in. I think
you haven't opened yours yet.
No, I have not opened it yet.
I drank like a third of mine already. It's really good.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's really good.
So what is the select? I mean, like I know that they have the regular small batch, but like what? Just because it's higher proof and
non-chill filtered, and everybody goes crazy over the NCF stuff, especially when it comes to like Weller Antique. If it's non-chill filtered, then increases the price by like 10%.
I personally look for the extra chill filtered.
Don't say that. Yeah.
Oh, so this is interesting too, actually.
I had a Chivas Regal 18 not too long ago, which was delicious, but that might fall into the category of extreme chill filtration.
So as I'm looking at the tag on the small batch select, it's actually, so it's a blend of 6 of the recipes. So you got OBSV, OBSK, OBSF, OESV, OESK, and OESF. So you got 3 of the high rye and 3 of the low rye mash bills.
Oh, interesting.
So you got 6 of the 10. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Can you imagine going through the process to select that combination
of
right? Mash bills, like,
and
many sampling days, just
right.
Oh, yeah. The master sampler at Four Roses has a pretty good job.
Yeah.
At what point do you get to like where you're like, nailed it right there?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, if I was working there, it would be always working towards perfection. I would never be satisfied, I'm sure. So just catching up on the chat quick. Yeah, Donner passes. Yeah, 6 kinds of recipes instead of 4. That makes sense. Richie Z says yes. Donner passes. They've seen it in California.
Yeah.
And Richie says, yeah, thousands of single barrels will be dedicated to that one. So the store picks will be slim pickings for a while. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and see that's to Phil's point before, that's another reason. On top of just like the popularity of bourbon and how many stores are trying to do picks in the barrel program, but you also got a new product line that's taking up more barrels too. And we'll find out, Eric, next week when we head down there, we'll probably learn a little bit about. Maybe we should actually ask about the barrel program. That'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah, that's a good segue, because next week my brother and I are going to get to hang out again. We're going to be heading out onto the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. We're taking our 70-year-old stepfather for his life's ambition, desired journey that he's been talking about for years. We're going to take him out for a couple days. I think we're going to be doing Willet for sure, but
Buffalo
Trace, Wild Turkey probably.
Four Roses
might pop up on there. I'd be curious if anybody who's tuned in with us right now has done the Bourbon Trail, if they have any recommendations on must visit distilleries or otherwise while on a trip to the Bourbon Trail. So I'm really looking forward to it. Should be.
We'll hit all the Louisville ones too, since we're staying there. We'll go to Michter's. We'll go to
Angel's Envy.
We'll go to Angel's Envy. Evan Williams.
You should check out Copper and Kings. They do brandy.
Yeah, that's a cool place too, I've heard.
Yeah, they have some unique shit going on there. They get a lot of high-end bourbon barrels that have been used to age beer, and then they put brandy back in them.
No kidding.
Good old fashioned.
Yeah, I've heard that Evan Williams experience too is especially something that's totally worth doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time, no doubt.
Yeah,
but we're gonna pop this, Eric. I don't know if you're
ready. Let's do it. With that, why don't you set it up, Evan, and let everybody watch and know kind of what we got going here.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit before, but I was visiting my brother in the nation's capital, and we took a little road trip to Maryland to get some crabs, which is fantastic. A great experience doing that. I mean, it's pretty hard to believe that you leave Washington, D.C. and within 40 minutes you're kind of in the middle of the country and driving around, and you're like, how the hell am I this far removed from the city? It feels like I'm thousands of miles away. But
right.
So we end up we're driving through this. I can't even remember the town that we were heading to, but we were driving through Maryland, and we go through this little town called Mayo, Mayo, like mayonnaise, Mayo, Maryland. And there's not much going on in Mayo, Maryland by any stretch, but there's a little strip mall with a liquor store called Edgewater Liquors, and we stopped in there, and they actually had a great selection. They were really top
they really did. I've been in that place a few times over the years that I've lived out here, and they've had a couple picks here and there that were up, and they do a Four Roses thing quite a bit. Yeah, their bourbon selection especially is pretty good.
Yeah, and so we're walking around, and Eric had mentioned, because he'd been there before, that they usually have Four Roses picks, and so we found the stash, and we're like, as soon as I looked at it, I was like, holy shit! It's an OESV for one, which is my favorite of the mash bills, or the favorite of the recipes, and it's 11 years 1 month, and I'm like, wow, you never, as we were talking about before, you never see anything that's over 10 years,
right?
So we both bought a bottle with the understanding that we were going to do this. We're going to taste it together. So what we're looking at, I guess, is, Edgewater Liquors is, I guess their motto is, quote, "We take bourbon seriously." So we'll find out how seriously they do take it when we drink this. But this is the 5th edition, apparently, of their pick. The particular bottle that we're going to sample is distilled January 3rd, 2007, barreled on January 12th, and then bottled on February 15th of 2018. So just a little bit over 11 years, an OESV. So for those not terribly familiar with the mash bills or the recipes for Four Roses picks, every pick starts with an O. O means Four Roses, and then it's usually a B or an E, and that's really it's going to dictate the rye character or the rye presence in the mash bill. So B is going to be the higher rye mash bill, and E is going to be lower. So obviously,
right. And I think the B mash bill is 35% rye. So like standard, when you go to the store and you just see the Four Roses single barrel sitting on the shelf, it's always the OBSV. So it's like the 35% rye, but the E is like 20%, I think.
Yeah. 20%. Usually it could be less too. So just by virtue of that, the E is always going to be the creamier, fruitier, not as you're not going to get that spice that you would with a higher rye mash bill bourbon.
Right.
Which to me, I like a little bit of spice, but I'm a sucker for the really smooth, creamy stuff. And so really, and every Four Roses pick you're going to get is going to have this tag on it, and on the back of the tag, it's going to give you a kind of a recipe description. So all of their 10 recipes they'll give you the tasting notes on it. And so for an OESV, it's delicate fruit, fresh and creamy. And really that's a perfect way to sum it up, because they're mostly, I mean, to me, it's just delicious, delicious stuff. And so I'm really can't wait to try this one. It's on the shelf in the days.
And then the V, what do you call it? So the V, I'm blanking out. Yeast strain is supposed to be fruitier and sweeter, is what I understand.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. And so I think so. The last letter is always, so there's V, F, Q, K, O, and actually one of the mash bills or one of the recipes that I would love to try is an OESO, which are really hard to find.
Yeah.
They don't make a lot of them. But
I don't know if any of y'all in the chat have come across an OESO. I'd love to hear about it.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Why don't we pour these and let them get a little air, and we'll catch up on the chat, and then get this started.
Cool.
Pop.
It's good sound.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Good.
Indeed. So, Richie Z, the select is worth a buy. That's probably good news for you. It sounds like Richie's had that before.
Yeah.
So it says Copper Kings has done some really good high proof brandy. So that's interesting. I've never had any of that yet.
Yeah. Can I tell you about my personal experience?
Yeah, please do.
So my wife and I, we were down there in this past October, and so we first did the Angels Envy tour, and then I noticed across the street there's Against the Grain Brewing beer company, and I was like, I wanted to go there and check it out, but we didn't get a chance to, and because we had to get to this tour at Copper Kings, so we get there, and they were telling us about how, oh, there's this beer that Against the Grain makes called Bo and Luke. Well, they age. It's basically like a high gravity stout, like a breakfast stout that they age in pappy barrels.
Oh, really?
So basically, Copper and Kings they distilled an apple brandy, and they aged it in the barrels that they got from Against the Grain.
The pappy barrels.
The pappy barrels. So they put brandy in those same barrels.
Oh, nice.
No kidding.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and the way that their rick house or where they barrel their distillate, it's in the basement, it's dark, and they play music.
Ah, that's cool.
Like different, like you can actually go online at any given time and find out what song they're playing in their barrel storage room.
They should be playing like porn funk. Get the juices flowing.
Yeah, because
Wild,
if you think
man.
about the
Yeah,
science,
right.
if you think about the science, is like those sound waves go through the barrels and
Yeah.
they move stuff around.
Right.
I mean,
That's
There's probably some nerdy science behind it, right?
so when you were over, Eric, did we pop that apple brandy?
We didn't. That actually reminds me, though, of the Metallica. The guys from Metallica released this blackened bourbon or whatever, and they're supposed to play their music around it or whatever. I haven't had it yet, but I've heard that as well. That's funny stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste your time probably with that.
So yeah, let me just catch up here quick. So Donner Pass, Richie to Donner Pass. Are there any store pick barrels near you? Richie says I've had just one of the barrel strength picks from Four Roses, and it was amazing. It was the OESK. Pass has store picks, but 100. They're all 100 proof. Richie Z, 100 proof pick, and it's delicious. Donner Pass have 12 very nice bourbons stashed away, but can't stop drinking scotch. Yeah, Slanch embodied that, brother. I totally
Yeah, the 100 Rose picks are good too, but the barrel strength ones are just on a whole different level.
Yeah.
All right, so
he says
we're gonna taste this
Butchertown brandy. Amazing if
okay.
Amazing if you like brandy and cognac. Yeah, for sure. Definitely buy. Cool. All right, why don't we get into this this Four Roses 11-year-old OESV, right?
Yeah, so 11-year.
What's the ABV on?
What's that?
This one's 57.3.
57.3. So yeah, this is a perfect barrel strength bourbon right here.
Took that 115 range.
Yeah, 115 range, and that to me is just right smack dab where I want it to be.
Cool. Yeah.
The nose is really great.
Right away on the nose. Butterscotch, vanilla, butterscotch, heavy butterscotch is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Definitely vanilla. Definitely like I don't know if it's like a red apple type thing. It's not like one of those.
Definitely fruity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's like.
It's like a pear that.
Sitting
out for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's very fresh smelling. Like you get like, when you like buy fresh produce and you just get that smell and it's like, man, it just smells super fresh. Like I get that from this a lot. Like it's just not necessarily a produce smell, but just a freshness to it.
And then like there's a little bit of, the more you nose it, you can pick up a little bit of the spice in the background. I get like cinnamon, of course.
Yeah.
There's a cinnamon. There's like a, I don't know if that's like a slight nutmeg or not, but definitely cinnamon. Yeah, butterscotch though is the first thing I got. I mean, just like it's like a caramel vanilla fusion, right? It's just really sweet, butterscotchy.
Phil's gonna down his glass before we even stop. Before we're done nosing it.
Coffee for sure. Yeah, you got to give this one a little distance from the nose too, because this one's got some alcohol fumes on it, 57 some percent.
Yeah, I really
Take 'em down.
I'm really liking the nose on it though.
It also tastes really good.
Phil,
Phenomenal.
All right.
Phil blew his load already. All right,
Cheers.
cheers.
I still got some left. I'm not. Come on, bro. Doing the Kentucky Chew, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Really full flavor. Really, really like mouth coating.
Mm-hmm.
High alcohol. This one definitely could use a little bit of water on it.
See, I didn't get that at all, man. Maybe it's because I've had a few pours, but it's
Finish just goes on forever too. Mocha coffee bean, dark chocolate.
I get the dark chocolate for sure.
Apple fruit, like apple. There's like apple, the pear. I think Phil said pear earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pear is definitely there in that for sure.
But it's like that pear that you should have ate yesterday,
Overripened.
but you can't just let it go to waste, and it's just like juicing all over the place.
Yeah.
That kind of pear.
Yeah.
You all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It could be the best pear.
Yeah.
Richie Z says, I love both. LOL. Metaphorically, Scotch is like my wife and bourbon is my mistress. Richie's straight fire tonight. What are you sipping on, Richie? What's up? You got to have something in your glass to be coming up with these good ones.
Yeah.
The taste on this,
Yeah.
exactly kind of what I expected. I don't know. What did you pick up?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
So having tasted a lot of OESVs, I mean, it tastes like an OESV. I mean, it's pretty, it's got that profile that's the creaminess of it, the fruitiness of it. It's delicate to me. It's delicate for a 57% whiskey. I barely get any burn of alcohol at all.
Yeah, it's warm in that sense.
Yeah, it's warming, but it's not astringent to the point where you're like, oh God, that's just like too, like when I think of astringent bourbons, like Stag Junior to me is just like, God, that thing's a mess to me. I don't know. Like, I know you love it, but
yeah, but you can't put this next to Stag Junior.
No,
like,
you can't.
You can't.
But I'm trying to draw a comparison to like what
Yeah.
I think is an astringent bourbon, and that to me is this one. This is not at all. I mean, this is like perfect for me. I really enjoy it a lot.
It's like the finish of like you ate some apple pie.
Yeah,
but it's like that cinnamon.
Yeah,
for
for sure.
Like your last bite you took, and you bit into like a large little cube with cinnamon, and it's just like,
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Burnt,
slowly
that kind of
in
like
your mouth.
charred, burnt apple crisp crust on an apple pie. Right?
Yeah.
I get a lot of like, so I mean, it's oily, it's full flavor. I got a bit of peppery. I wouldn't say astringent, but pepper, like, now peppery is not the right word. It has a little bit of burn, but in a good way. Juicy, like juicy fruit gum, like juice, just mouth-watering.
I haven't had juicy fruit gum in a while.
Yeah, but it's got a little bit of that flavor and like that finish. It goes on for days. White
The
chocolate
gum was like the worst, but the flavor was the best. Like you got like 4 chews,
You
and
got
it was
4
like
chews.
a rock.
Yeah. The finish, it's just like juicy fruit, apple, white chocolate, cinnamon.
I'm like a drink this all day, man. This is a great pour to
Yeah,
me.
this is a good one. I think it was the wise choice for us to pull the trigger on this.
All right.
In your old roses.
So are we agreeing with Edgewater Liquors when they say that we take bourbon seriously? Do they take it seriously?
Well, small sample size, but I will say in this case, This 11-year-old Four Roses OESV.
Were there more on the shelf?
Yeah.
We probably could have grabbed more.
Maybe you need to take a trip to Mayo, Maryland.
What were these
tomorrow.
guys retail?
I think they were 60,
65?
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which is a great price for a Four Roses pick, in my opinion.
Oh, barrel proof.
Especially 11 years. I mean,
and a barrel proof.
I'm gonna put a little water on this and see what happens with the nose.
Yeah, do the same. You need a little more in there.
See what goes on. While we let that water work its magic, Richie Z says that 11-year must be so rich in the flavor and finish. Yeah, totally. It's exactly what you'd think, Richie. Also says I had to pour my Infinity bourbon, then a Sagamore double oak rye now.
Whoa, who
Four
said
Roses
something about
Select.
Sagamore?
Yeah, I've not had any of the Sagamore stuff.
No, yeah, but I've heard things. I've heard good
had
things.
is the Woodford, which was tough, but
I want to buy the cast strength rye. They have it at Woodman's by us, but it's I think $68.99 and
Yeah, it's like those kind of bourbons. That's you need to have a small.
you need to know
pour
that
at a bar before you buy
Good,
a bottle.
yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that so for the bourbon guys out there that like bourbon, one of the podcasts I listen to a lot is Dad's Drinking Bourbon, and it's to me it's like the blue collar bourbon review podcast, right? It's not pretentious. It's nothing about it is pretentious, but they always do this thing after every episode when they try new whiskeys. They do is it a buy, bar, or pass? And I kind of like that rating system, where it's like, is it a buy, or do you try it at a bar, or do you pass on it? And so I think for me on this one, it's a buy for sure. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. I mean, is this a buy? Is this a buy or a bar or a pass for you?
I mean,
I think it always comes down to price, and I think for $65,
I agree with you completely. The way that I go about reviewing things is, and I think it's a testament to kind of what Evan's talking about is taking a more practical sense to it. Like, I think price matters. I mean, you can talk about the quality of the spirit, but ultimately,
matters.
Price point matters. Price point matters. And I'm willing to put another half point or a point on something if the price point is right in that sweet spot where you're going to get a really good deal. I just think that matters. So for me, what did we say this was? 65 a bottle plus what was $70 with tax, 72. It's borderline for me.
Well, that's crazy Maryland taxes. Yeah.
I mean, it's borderline. I think it's a really good bourbon. Do I think this is better than the standard Four Roses you can buy at the store for $40? Do I think it's $35 more better? We'll see. So, little oxygen will probably work on it. But so I'm like, I'm in the middle. I think it's a really good bourbon. I think my personal profile, it's a little bit two-dimensional. I like the higher rye mash bill because I think it like adds another element.
Well, the water.
This is really
change it. Wow.
But like, I could also, I could also take $60, $65, $70 and buy an Elijah Craig barrel proof, which I think is much better than this. So that's where I'm at. I'm in the middle.
I think we need Debbie to try it.
I'm glad I bought it. But that's where I'm landing on this one.
Yeah. So, what is
the water really changes it though? Wow.
We just got
you should change your.
We just got confirmation from my wife that OESV is her favorite mash bill for Four Roses.
Man, there's nothing wrong with that. With a little bit of water, bring that ABV down. Man, this thing. Ooh. Oh. I think the addition of water, the nose gets just so much brighter. It gets so much more balanced.
It's a velvety. Like,
yeah. God damn.
All right, give me this bottle.
I was gonna say, Eric, I think when you're rating a whiskey, I don't think that you can take price into consideration. I mean, because chances are, if you're rating like a good allocated bourbon, if you got it for, because the price is all over the board, right? I mean, if you bought a bottle on the secondary market for 3 times retail, you're going to have a different you're inherently going to have a different perspective of it based on the fact that you paid that much more for it. Right?
Sure.
So I feel like your rating has to just go solely based on the taste and the flavor profile of the.
I think that they're two separate things then.
Yeah, there's two separate things. You're right. I mean,
I would push back only in this
price
sense.
out of the situation.
I would push back only in this sense, like what you have access to. So there are going to be anomalies, right? There are going to be like things in the secondary market that are going to be overly priced because of scarcity, but there's not that many of them. I mean, Weller's, maybe like a store pick here and there, right? But ultimately, like I think that price matters because for most people, price falls within a range. Like most folks, yeah, taxes are different in certain states, prices are different in certain states, but ultimately, like you're looking at a price variance of 10 to 15 bucks in most cases. Now, of course, there's exceptions. If you live in Ohio, you can get a Weller for 20 bucks, but you can buy it on secondary market for 80. Like to me, if you're going to spend $80 on a bottle of special reserve Weller, you're out of your mind, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But like for most bourbons or for most whiskeys in general, I think that there's a variance, right? So like to me, what the average person would encounter is like important because if you're thinking about what you like in a whiskey and you have an X amount of money that you can spend on a good bottle, like to buy something that's just expensive but not actually great, like you have to take into consideration how much you're paying for it.
Yeah.
For me personally, like there are some 18-year-old scotches that I would pay $100 for, but I wouldn't pay $120 for. And that matters. Like if they raise the price more, I'm just sorry, but like I'm not going to pay $120 for a Glenmorangie 18. I will pay $90 for a Glenmorangie 18.
And Eric, it's kind of like what you were saying, like the difference between just the regular single barrel pick and these ones like this. It's like a $30 difference.
You mean, yeah,
Yeah,
just regular.
I mean, if you go to the store, if you go to your local liquor shop, and you can
like
incrementally,
is it like the same? Is
great
it
whiskey,
as good, better, or
yeah, it's their regular stuff. It's what, $35, $40. That's great bourbon. To me,
yeah.
I would, if I was just going to off the cuff, that's a 4.5 out of 5 bourbon for me.
It's almost
this,
like
3.5 out of 5, maybe 4. It's
for
double the price.
For a budget-friendly shopper, that's a great pour. Just like we were talking about the Evan Williams before. The
right.
Evan Williams single bear is the best bang for your buck if you're a budget shopper for bourbon.
Actually,
I think Evan Williams single barrel can go toe to toe with whiskeys 4 times its price. I really.
Old Forester has it figured out with their old signature that they brought back, the 100 proof.
Yeah.
And their the Old Forester rye, like those two.
Yeah, the Old Forester rye makes a.
Yeah, man. I think that
$22 right now.
I think this is a great barrel strength Four Roses. Would I say it's worth $70, which is what most people would pay for it? That's a tough call. I think it's a really good. It might be worth it.
Honestly, you can sell it in a secondary market for
my mind, and even an 11-year-old bourbon. So like, I fall in that medium value. The value to me is like medium. Quality is high. So before we continue, I want to just catch up on the chat and see what everybody's talking about here.
All right, we're gonna find another pour here.
Great. All right, where did I leave off here? Oh.
Philip, do you have anything in mind?
Richie Z says to Donner Pass and to Rabbit and Red, what are your favorite peated scotches? Oh, man. Well, my brother won't have much opinion on this, but I think his comrade there might. Favorite peated scotches? Ardbeg Ugadal.
Yeah, love it.
Kalila 12. Well, Kalila 12. Lefroy quarter cast strength and Lefroy 10 cast strength. I think
I gotta stand.
For the money and the price are my favorites. The Lefroy 18 is great, but that's discontinued, so it's hard to get.
OESV.
Lecheg 18 or Lecheg
got the one in it.
Favorite of mine.
That's why I like it so much.
$65 for an 11-year-old Four Roses store pick is a steal. Yeah, totally. Sagamore is in Maryland. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was Michigan for some reason. Richie Z says to Rabbit and Red, try a Russell's Reserve single barrel store pick. So, Richie, I was able to get one of those once, and that was fantastic. And that was $20 cheaper. I think I got the single barrel Russell's Reserve store pick for 50, 55.
Yeah,
And that was good stuff. The cotton candy flavor in that can throw me off a little bit, but otherwise, I think Russell's Reserve single barrel is really good.
all right, we're about
Says to Richie, not quite there with the peated. Oban 14, Kilkerran 12, and Springbank 12 are enough peach so far. Yeah, awesome. Those are all awesome whiskeys. All very interested in Port Charlotte. Yeah, Port Charlotte's a rabbit hole. There's so many different variations of it, but there's a lot to enjoy there. Richie says, same here. I've been drinking peateds for 10 years. LOL. Very picky. Love to hear which ones you like. Whiskey Ace is back. Hey, what's up, Whiskey Ace? Richie Z. Eric, have you had the Glenallachie 12 yet? Haven't, but I'm going to get one next week. I actually did a review of the Glenallachie 12. You can check it out probably about a month and a half ago. Spoiler alert, I thought it was pretty good. Richie Z. Whiskey Ace says they're still live. Yeah, we are still live. We're a couple pours in. We just chatted about our Four Roses 11-year-old OESV, which we just reviewed. And now we're getting into a few more pours. Whiskey Ace, I've had a Four Roses 11-year. It was very good. Haven't had a bad private select. Yeah, I pretty much agree. The flavors vary widely, though. Yeah, I agree, Ace. I think that I think there's a variation alone with like the different mash bills and or recipes rather than get with Four Roses, like makes it a lot of fun. This is an OESV. My brother was saying this is his favorite expression of Four Roses in terms of the barrel proof recipes. I don't think it's my favorite, but I think a little oxygen might do it after this 11-year.
So Eric, we're about to since we're on the Four Roses theme tonight, one of my favorite Four Roses pours. Sorry. We're about to do the Four Roses, the 2016 single barrel limited edition barrel strength, this is a phenomenal pour. And
that's a single barrel, or is that the?
No, this is the
small batch bottle.
Yeah, so this is bottle number 8,578 out of 9,258. And so get this.
Nice.
So the recipe of this bottle is a 12-year OESO, a 12-year OBSV, and a 16-year OESK.
Holy shit!
And it's NCF, non-chill filtered.
Extra chill.
This man, if you can get your hands on a 2016 small batch select limited edition, or not select, small batch limited edition, so 55.6%, like right in the wheelhouse of perfection from Four Roses. Yeah, thankfully I have another one in the bunker that's unopened. So, but we're gonna get into this one too.
What does a bottle of that stuff run? I mean that seems like is that like a pretty exclusive one, right?
Yeah, there's only 9,000 bottles made. So
what does the bottle of that run?
I could sell the one that I have unopened probably for probably close to 275, 300, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is, so I have the 2016, 2017, and the 2018, which is the 130th edition, which I think you tried with me, did you not? The 130th?
I don't recall.
Yeah, so
No, we did a tasting.
yeah, so Phil and I we went live on Facebook not too long ago, and we did a tasting of the 2016, 17, and the 18. We did a blind tasting of it, and I mean it's impossible to find a good what's your favorite, because they're all just phenomenal. Like to me, the 2016 is one of the best that I've had.
It needs to breathe just a little bit.
Yeah, but it's yeah. I'll save some for you, Eric, for sure.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, speaking
of, did you send any samples with that Lefroy 28 that's in the mail?
I totally forgot, dude. I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
I was so determined just to get it out in a timely fashion that I forgot to put samples in. Oh, so hey, speaking of that, so get this. So I went to my local bottle shop here in Grafton, and
Where's Grafton?
yeah, Wisconsin. We're in Wisconsin. We're like 20 miles north of Milwaukee. And so I went into my local
Go
shop.
Bucks or not?
Yeah, let's not go there.
We have a West Coast
West Coast presence. Yeah.
We gotta yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, Golden State looked like they were in trouble the other night. That's for sure. They need Durant back.
yeah. So Whiskey
anyway,
says, I feel like bourbon is a little bit misunderstood. Richie says, yeah, I agree. It's a lot more complex than people think. And Whiskey A says, yeah, there's a lot more, so much nuance. That's an interesting point. I think that's true. I think that there's more nuance than people think. I don't know that it has the range of nuance as Scotch does, but I think it does. I think what it does really well. Whereas Scotch is so hit and miss in terms of like the variability. But I may be wrong about that. But I think, I mean, even just talking about these Four Roses, I mean, the Four Roses, the barrel strength recipes that they release is a testament to, I think, the range that bourbon really offers, right? You have the different yeast strain. There's 10 different recipes, bunch of different yeast strains, there's 2 different mash bills. Like you really get the opportunity to like explore a whole bunch of the range that bourbon has to offer, I think.
So what I was going to tell you, Eric, about the Lefroy that I sent you. So I was in my local shop, and he has a Lefroy 27 year on the shelf, and guess how much that was?
$550.
$700.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like, hey, you know what? I just got a 28 Lefroy for $200.
No, he did, and it's in the mail to me right now.
And I was gonna tell you that.
Are you fucking nuts?
He's got another one too.
He has 2 bottles?
Yeah, he's got another one.
I thought you said he only had 1. Oh, I'll buy it right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
buy it immediately. There's no hesitation.
Yeah, so you can describe the situation, but it's this stupid deal.
Dude, that's
so when I told the bottle shop owner, I told him that. I was like, yeah, I just got the 28-year-old for $200, and he's like, where? I will buy it right now.
Yeah, that's so my brother is a degenerate bourbon hound and is always running around going to these different shops, and so he'll come across scotches that he thinks I'll like, and he'll take a picture and be like, you interested in this? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But usually, like, the price isn't where it's at. So the other day, he sends me a picture of a Lefroy, the limited edition 28-year-old, the 28-year-old. He's like, hey, would you want this? And I'm like, I mean, of course I would want it. I love Lefroy. But I know the next text from him is going to be like, yeah, it's $800. So he texts me back, and I'm like, yeah, how much? And he's like, $200. So I was like, bin immedially. And how many does
you could like almost make an easy G on secondary?
Oh, easily. That's the dumbest price I've ever seen something of that.
So Nate said he's going to sell it to me, just so we're clear here.
No, I've claimed it.
You already got one, dude.
You already got one, bro.
Oh, well, I asked you earlier for a second one. I'll buy however I'll buy it off you for $300.
What are you sending us over here?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy it and just flip it, man.
Oh, that's just cruel, man.
I wouldn't do that.
I'd never do you like that, man.
I think I sold it to you for less than what I paid for it.
Interesting.
With taxes.
Oh, so
like an asshole now.
Yeah, right.
But give me another one.
Dude,
So
if there's 10 of them, I'll buy all 10.
sorry. Well, I guess we should comment on this.
Yeah, there's a couple things in the chat. I just want to catch up on the chat,
Yeah.
and then we can do it. The Richie Z says, have you or your brother had the Booker's 30th yet? I have not had it. He, I think, has a bottle of it. Come on.
I do have a bottle in the basement. Yeah, I got a bottle in the bunker. I haven't opened it yet.
Whiskey Ace says, I came across the Bullet 12-year rye, but passed, but it definitely intrigued me. So, Phil, you were just saying you're a big fan of the Bullet rye. I wonder, have you had the barrel strength or the 12-year rye yet? Golden State will absolutely win on Sunday, says Richie. Yeah, I hope so for you, man. Whiskey Ace, I have an OBSO 9-year, 9 and 7 months that I'm going to pour. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so the Booker's 30th. I full disclosure, I think Booker's is probably one of the best bourbons you can get. I think it just hits all the right buttons and at a price that, although steadily
Gone up,
is still really good. But
dude, I just saw it at Sendik's, $99.99.
no, fuck that.
For Teresa's batch, the most recent one.
The most recent batch.
Yeah.
$99.99?
Yes.
Jesus, I was in Virginia today, and I was poking around government stores looking for the new Elijah Craig, and I came across the 2019-02. So past Teresa's batch, it was 70.
Yeah, that one just came out.
If you're seeing them at $80 or less, just buy it. Start buying them. Like, prices are getting jacked now.
Yeah, see, all right. I'm
$79 though for a Booker's.
I'm going to take the unpopular opinion and say that I'm not a big fan of Booker's. But
what? Give me a break,
dude.
You're trying to be a contrarian, aren't you?
I am trying to be. I am being contrarian, but I also firmly kind of believe that. I don't know. Booker's to me is like, it's so hot. It's like Stag Juniors. It's kind of all over the place, and there's a few. Maybe it's just a batch exception, right? Maybe it's just a batch that I had.
But keep in mind, most of the Bookers are 6 to 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Most
they're
of them
mostly like
nowadays
60%, right?
Yeah, they're mostly like 124 to like 128.
And maybe that's just not my wheelhouse of bourbons, but
I mean, I
feel that about Stag, George T. Stag.
I think
the Stag Junior
compared to like
I'm with you that
1792, like the full proof.
Yeah, and 1792.
Pours,
the full proof.
Except I feel like they're more complex.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, that's the thing about like, excuse me, regular George T. Stag is that it's high proof, but there's like a complexion to it that makes it interesting. It's not just like a hot mess.
You talking about senior?
Yeah, I'm talking about senior, not junior. Yeah. So like the 2018 is. Oh,
hey, we got Eric Wade from California. Sláinte, Eric. Well, I should probably pour some more of this. We were just reviewing a store pick OESV 11-year-old 4 Roses. I'm going to pour a little bit more and raise a glass to you. Good to see you on this fine evening. So we're just discussing the ins and outs of Bookers, and it's my brother here is taking the contrarian view that Bookers is not all that.
So, hey, I just want to draw a comparison here. So you got Stag Junior here, which I think is the most recent batch of it,
and has a bigger rack, which is weird compared to senior.
This is 63.2 NCF, so 126.4 proof. And this is a 2018 Stag Senior, like the real deal, which is 62.4, 124.9. So this is lesser proof than the Junior.
Probably it's aged longer.
Yeah, right. So this is probably I don't remember what Stag is on the age. I mean, it's not age stated.
I think it's 14.
Yeah, I think it's around
like 14 usually.
Yeah.
And Stag Junior is also non-age stated, but I want to say this is probably like 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 6, I think.
And it's like the difference between these two is so drastic. I mean,
it's over double.
Well, yeah, but the difference, of course, is, and also, I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like I could have a 6-year barrel proof whiskey and have it be way more refined and flavorful than the Stag Junior. Like
Wow.
I mean, if anybody on the chat wants a steak junior, I have one in the basement that I will part ways with.
Well,
I already told you I would take it. You know I'm a Steak Junior fan. Why would you even offer it to someone else?
Whiskey Ace says he loves the Stag Junior and is maybe Whiskey Ace would take it off your hands.
Well, yeah.
And he thinks he does that.
We
I'll
might
be
get into
honest.
this one next.
When I'm thinking about barrel-proof bourbons in that $60 to $70 range, you got Vickers, Stag Junior, Elijah Craig barrel-proof, some of these Four Roses barrel picks. For me personally, Elijah Craig barrel-proof is by
the best.
Oh, I think Vickers is right behind it.
You're saying
I think Four Roses and Vickers can go back and forth, and I'm with you that like the one bottle of Stag Junior I had, I wasn't overly blown away with for the price, but I think it was still good. I just, for $60, $70, it's a tough fight. And I know there's different batches, and like they also do it where you have the opportunity to get into different proofs and stuff.
At that price point, honestly, I've been loving the new riff for your single barrel picks. They are fucking amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about New Riff, man. They're doing a great job.
I don't think I've had any of the new riff stuff yet, but
oh man, yeah.
So they're so
dude,
good.
I'm telling you, for a 4-year barrel proof single barrel, I have a hard time understanding how they do it, because it's so good that you're like, this can't be 4 years.
Actually, I know how they do it, and I'm going to tell you.
Oh, please share. Yeah. I mean, disclosure, I think 4-year-old bourbon is just fine. The older bourbon gets for me, usually like those 20-year-old bourbons don't do it for me. It's just too oaky. But go ahead, Phil.
The two things that New Riff does, like to set them apart a little bit, they rinse their grains before they get fermented. Before they get mashed in, they get rinsed.
They don't normally do that?
No other distillery does it.
So it's instead of non-chill filtered, it's non-rinse?
Non-rinse
grains?
And I believe they use only like organic, like non-GMO grains. They don't.
Oh, so they're like the Springbank of bourbons, right? They're doing things all like.
They're basically a craft distillery that is freaking ginormous.
Yeah.
In scale. But they, they've obviously been around for 4 years, but they haven't put out a product because they wanted Kentucky straight bourbon, so they had to wait 4 years to release it.
Right.
To bottle it.
Yeah.
So now all of this stuff is coming out, and it's.
This is one.
And their rye is insane too. Like they know what they're doing.
Hey, this is Eric. In the chat's had any of the new riff stuff and has opinions. Oh wow, we're up to 7 people watching. That's awesome. Give me a second, gents. I'm going to catch up on the chat here. Whiskey Ace says he loves the Willet rye. Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, baby. This is a 10-year right here.
Eric Waite says he's drinking Iron Root Republic Harbinger bourbon whiskey, which is the BBC edition, at 8 a.m. this morning with Robert Licorice. Now I'm drinking Ardbeg 10 in celebration of Ardbeg Day. Sláinte. I have an Ardbeg that I'm going to be sipping on right after this, my friend. So I'll join you on that. Whiskey A says bourbon or rye new riff. Oh, I think they're talking about the bourbon. He says to Eric Wade is the iron root at TW is lower proof, but is it worth a buy? Eric Wade has just tweeted this on Twitter. Appreciate the tweet, Eric Wade. I encourage folks, if you're not already subscribed, to definitely subscribe to Eric Wade's channel. Eric Wade does incredible whiskey reviews, bourbon, scotch, and all the like. Thanks for tweeting out the live stream tonight, brother.
Is this?
You guys would probably like Tom's Foolery bourbon. Evan, do you guys know anything about Tom's Foolery bourbon bottled in bond?
I've heard of the Tom's Foolery, and there's some picks out there that apparently are really good, but I don't know much about like the regular the regular offerings. I don't know. We don't see it in Wisconsin.
No, I'm not sure I've seen it around DC either. But Whiskey Ace knows his shit, so I'll definitely keep an eye open for it.
Oh yeah,
Donner Pass Whiskey says kitty. Yeah, I have a somewhat energetic tuxedo cat running around here at hour.
I'm gonna shock you with what I picked.
Richie Z, I don't know, I've tasted it, but it's been a while. Richie Z says to Whiskey Ace, you have tomfooleries. Whiskey Ace says yes. How is it? Digs it. The bourbon and rye are both good. I just know it's young, says Richie Z. Good to know. Yeah, the last pick Whiskey Ace had of that was 6 years. Whiskey Ace is the previous 4 or 5.
So
Eric Waite says at Rabbit and Red, hey, I find I get more viewers on live streams when I don't.
we'll drink that later.
We'll see, man. I'm getting a little loose, you know. We'll probably keep going for a while. I don't know. I hope these cats keep their pants on at minimum, but
You finish that.
I would be embarrassed.
Well, we're gonna kill a bottle of Blanton's here.
Oh, nice.
Hey, we're actually gonna go smoke a stove real quick. Are you gonna be on for a little bit?
Do your thing.
Are you gonna be on?
Yeah, I will be here.
Oh yeah. Hey, and then we're gonna drink this too.
That stuff's rubbish.
Oh, what? The 18 is fantastic.
It isn't. It's rubbish.
You're thinking of the 23.
He's jealous.
I thought both of them were nothing compared to the barrel proof.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. I don't particularly like the 23, but the 18 is really good.
See, Eric thinks like me. He's about like price per ounce kind of guy. I'm an econ accounting guy, so when I was shopping for diapers, I would actually like take the price divided by the number of diapers and how well they work and factor it into whether I'd buy it or not.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I
Kelly's like
thought that
she's like she knows that when we got to the diaper aisle, she would just go elsewhere because I'd be sitting there with my phone. What's the best fucking deal on these diapers?
I personally thought both the Elijah Craig 23 and 18 were like, I mean, A, not worth the price. B, they're just, bourbon at that age is just so over oaked to me that like it just doesn't do it. I mean, I've had the rhetoric, some of the rhetoric stuff. I'm gonna actually go grab my bottle of Ardbeg if you guys will sit tonight for just a minute. I will be right back.
Does anybody know what the Fireball number was? Jeez. All right, so we're killing a Blanton's that was bottled on 7/20/18. I'm sure everybody knows about Blanton's, but it's a good pour.
Ooh, 720?
Yeah.
I think I know someone has a birthday. 720.
Well, if they want it, it's all theirs. I can't see the chat. I can't see what you guys are talking about, but we're unloading a plethora of great bourbons to drink.
It's my
here.
dad's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Birthday.
But yeah, so we're gonna sip on some Blanton's while we go smoke a stogie.
I thought we were gonna sip on that.
Oh yeah, we could pour. So next, we're gonna look at Elijah Craig 18. This was barreled on 9/16/97. So yeah, for those that haven't had the 18 year, it's a really good pour. I mean, it's not. If you can find the pre-fire Elijah Craig 18s, those are really great. Hard to find, obviously, but yeah, if they're barreled like earlier than 90, those are going to be good picks, and they're great pours. But salute, cheers. It's good that it's Friday night. Man, the Blanton's is so much different than what we were just drinking. That Four Roses 2016 is, yeah, Blanton's almost doesn't taste good compared to that. Hate to say it, but you want to hand me that?
Well,
Well, it's cool that everybody's hanging out tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning into our blabbering on about whiskey and changing topics. But we're gonna go puff on these bad boys. We got a Gurkha 12-year Gurkha here.
And I got a Rocky Patel 20th anniversary.
Yeah. But this is fun. It's the first time that we've gone live. Hold on, Eric's actually texting me here.
Well, I'm gonna go out and start.
Okay. Well, Eric should be back momentarily.
I am back now.
All right. Hey, we're gonna go cigars.
Great, this looks like Mr. Hanky.
What's that?
Too funny. So Eric Wade brought up a timely reminder of Ardbeg Day, and I just happened to have a bottle of
Be back, Eric.
Yeah, take it easy. I happen to have a bottle of Oogie sitting here calling my name, so I'm going to do it for Oogie Doll.
Just got
love to hear what you all think about, what your favorite Ardbegs are, or what you guys all have on yourselves. I have Corey Vrecken, I have the Ardbeg Oogie Doll, and then I have a bottle of the committee release drum, which I haven't opened yet, but I'm going to do that relatively soon. I got a bottle of the Cruise, which I was a big fan of.
Just grab.
I have a bottle of the Kelpie and the Ora Verdes too, and I haven't opened either of those yet. I'm not sure if any of y'all have it yet.
I think I won that.
Hey, Evan, why don't you mute yourself?
Okay, hold on.
So, yeah, I think the Oogie Doll is honestly my favorite Scotch of all time. It hits every note perfectly. It's also just one of the best things I've ever had with a steak. That's just the simple truth. I also have a bottle of the Dark Cove, which I haven't opened. I have a lot of Ardbegs I haven't opened yet. I really got to get into those eventually. Let me catch up on the chat here a little bit. Whiskey A says he quit puffing the stogies. Yeah, well, I don't blame you. I got to quit smoking the Camels. Richie Z says Ardbeg. Yeah, Slancha Richie. Was that Rocky Patel 20 years, says Whiskey Sneerson. Oh, nice to see you, Sneerson. Cheers. Happy Friday. Not sure about the Rocky Patel. Maybe those cats will be able to tell you when they come back. Richie Z to Whiskey Ace. Same, I haven't smoked a stogie, but would love to. Eric Wade, favorite is the Ardbeg Dark Cove CR. Corey Vrecken is second. Okay, that's fair. I've had the Dark Cove CR. I had a drink of it at a bar once. It was really good. Unfortunately, the version of the Dark Cove that I have is actually, it's not the committee release. I found it in the wild, so I had to pull the plug on it, but it was it's just the standard release. Eric Wait, what is your whiskey of the year going halfway into 2019? Ooh, that would be an interesting one here. Oh, you're asking me. Let me think on that for a second. Richie Z says, hey, Sneerson. Sneerson says, hey, Richie Z, what's up? Chill out, cat. Cellar Reserve 15 is fire. Friday night, no work tomorrow, thank God. Yeah, I hear you on that, buddy. Cheers. It's a whiskey party. You got that right, buddy. Oogie, man. Oogie. That's all I can say. So my favorite whiskey that I've had so far this year, I think it'll be tough because I can't, if I can limit it, if it has to be limited to just things released this year, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But if I talked about if I thought about the whiskeys that I opened this year that I had for the first time, I think that the whiskey of the year so far has been the Lafroig 18. I was able to get my hands on a couple bottles of it on secondary market. and it's really a damn tragedy that they stopped making that stuff. The Laphroaig 18 is just incredible. It still has that smokiness, but also just incredible depth and complexity. It's probably one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Another one that comes to mind, honestly, is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch A119, which is the January release from this year. Is an incredible, incredible bourbon. I've had some good stuff this year, though, for real. But the Laphroaig 18 so far has stood out as a bottle that I've opened this year. That was just top-notch stuff. But we'll see. There's still plenty of the year to go. I've basically, for my whiskey reviews this year, as I've been getting into older Scotch. Would you settle down, Kat? I've been reviewing a 18-year or older Scotch as the first review I've done of each month, and I think I've done the Ball Blair 90, which is a 25, 26-year-old, which should be coming out. That'll be the next one. That should be coming up in a few days. There's been a couple others that I've done. I think I did. Let me think back here now. What other older Scotch? So I did the Laphroaig 18. I did the Glenmorangie 18, the Bunnahabhain 18. Bunnahabhain 18 is another one that I would say is probably one of the best whiskeys I've had this year. And honestly, one of my standout 18s. At the end of the year, I'm going to do a top 5 rundown of the best 18 or older Scotches that I've had the opportunity to try this year. But I think, spoiler alert, that Bunnahabhain 18 might be hard to beat. That one is just amazing. And so I got a couple more. I got an Oban 18. I have a Glenlivet 18 I'll be doing. I'll be doing the Bruichladdich Blackguard 4.1. I have a Talisker 18, which I'll probably do this year still. What other older ones have I had? I think that might about round. The Glendronach 18 Allardyce. I think I'll be doing that one in a few months. But it's been a lot of fun, you know. Last year was a lot of just kind of my really getting deep into Scotch, especially after being more of a bourbon fan for the years prior. And so I really started with a lot of the 12-year younger stuff and have really got into, you know, trying a little bit of older stuff, spending a little bit more, but trying to take things to the next level. Another one that I did this year, a video for, which you can probably check out, is the Highland Park 18 Viking Pride. Is it Viking Honor or Viking Pride? Viking Pride, which is a fantastic whiskey as well. So yeah, the ones, you know, long story short, Laphroaig 18, Bunnahabhain 18, Bruichladdich Blackguard 4.1, all whiskeys that I would say are some of the best I've had this year so far. Also the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch A119, all stuff that are gonna, you know, be in that list at the end of the year when I do my top 5s of 2019. They're gonna be hard to beat. Let me take a look at where we're at in the chat, y'all. Richie Z said, "What happened to Rabbit?" I'm right here, my friend. Oh fuck! Almost cracked his 16% beer, says Whiskey Ace. You say it like it's a bad thing, brother. Richie Z says, "I've only ever had Dark Cove regular, and I love it." Yeah, that's the bottle I got too. I got to try the committee release at a bar, and it was fantastic. But I didn't. Yeah, I've never been able to find it at a price on secondary market or, you know, out in the wild that I could pull the trigger on. I've never seen it out in the wild, the committee release, but I've seen it on secondary market. But man, folks be charging a lot for that. Richie Z says, "Is Rabbit and Red on Instagram?" I'm not. Maybe I should do that. Eric Waite, my whiskey of the year thus far has been the Joe Magnus Triple Barrel or the Balcones Single Malt Rum Cask Finish. Oh, interesting. But it's still early. I'm going to Scotland in 36 days, so I may find something special. Oh, man, that's fantastic. That's really awesome, Eric. I'm really going to look forward. I know you'll be I know you'll definitely be streaming some of that stuff. I'll be happy to see those videos. Your stuff has been really great, and I've been following all of your stuff so far since your channel's been blowing up, man. So definitely look forward to hearing about your trip to Scotland. And you know, we'll all be interested to see some of those vids if you do anything live over there or otherwise. Sneerson said, what happened to the guys with the cigars? Did they have to go? Yeah, they totally did. They're out puffing stogies, but they'll be back soon to slam more expensive bourbons, I'm sure. Whiskey Ace says, I mean, you might need to share one with Rabbit. Boy, I hope so. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Is it if it's the 16% beer? You know, I mean, you know, I'm game for that. And I'm sure if it's something else, whatever you have in mind is probably good. Whiskey Ace to Sneerson, they'll be back later. Yeah, those cats are that's my younger brother and his neighbor. They live just outside Milwaukee in Wisconsin, where my brother and I grew up. I'm here in Washington, D.C. now, but they're still up in Wisconsin, and yeah, I had to step outside to do their stogie business. Eric Wade says, this is my return to Scotland. I was there last June. Oh, no shit. Oh, I should take a look. Did you put up any videos of that stuff? I might have missed them if you did. I have yet to be there. I know a guy that had got me really into doing whiskey reviews, Foodquig, who you guys all know, was just there and put up a whole bunch of videos. Is making me jealous as hell. I'd love to do the Isla tour. That I think would just be, you know, a once in a lifetime type thing. I don't know if any of y'all have been there, but man, it looks amazing. I'd love to hit up Ardbeg. I'd love to hit up Laphroaig, Bunnahabhain. I think those would be my top three. You know, I'd love to do Lagavulin as well, but yeah, Ardbeg and Laphroaig when it comes to the heavy peated stuff, those are usually my faves. And Bunnahabhain's just doing so much exciting stuff these days that I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to hit that up. Richie Z says, Eric, you're on the border with bourbon, I can tell. What do you mean? Which border are you talking about? I'm always looking for bourbons that will grab my attention in Scotch. Yeah, dude, seriously. I hear you, man. What I've noticed just in my, like, it's proof through action, right? My bourbon and Scotch collection used to be about even. And what I've noticed over the last year and a half, 2 years is Scotch kind of expands, the bourbon's getting less and less. I've kind of figured out which bourbons I really love, and I'm not buying as much of the, like, the stuff where you kind of are just picking up things to experiment with it and see what you like. I'm not doing it as much anymore. Mostly because I personally just find that, like, you get a bit more, it's a bit more intriguing and a bit more variation out of Scotch. And it's just for me personally, just my opinion, it's just a more unique experience with a whiskey. Most of the bourbon I have, you know, I'll take a sip and be like, oh, that's interesting. But it's still kind of tightly contained together as far as the profile goes compared to other stuff. You know, I'll tell you a good bourbon that I did have this year, which was unexpected, was I got a store pick of the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. Actually, I think I did a video of that one a couple months back. That was one that surprised me quite a bit. I'm a big fan of Wild Turkey stuff. I think Wild Turkey 101 is probably the best regular shelf bourbon that you can you can have readily available for yourself. I mean, it just does everything you need it to do. It's great neat. It's great in a cocktail. It's, you know, you do it on ice. That's your thing. I think Wild Turkey 101 is great. But I've got the opportunity to try a couple of their other ones. So I'll be doing a review of the Long Branch, which is the one that was made with Matthew McConaughey. It's like mesquite filtered or something like that. But no, they don't say mesquite filtered. They have an interesting word for it. It's like, I wish I could remember what it was. They don't say filtered, but basically it's got some type of mesquite charcoal flavor to it. It's relatively interesting. I've also done the Kentucky Spirit, which I think is a really good one. But my favorite, you know, of the Wild Turkey stuff, you know, is always going to be the Rare Breed. I think the Rare Breed, which comes in at the same price as the Kentucky Spirit single barrel, I think the Rare Breed is just one of the better bourbons you can get. It's only like $40 maybe, and you can't go wrong with that stuff. it's just great. I mean, if you like the Wild Turkey profile, especially, the rare breed is the way to go. Yeah, Whiskey Aces went through a bottle of rare breed pretty fast last month. Man, I hear you, dude. The rare breed is just fantastic. Richie Z says, went through a bottle of, finally tried the Balcones single malt. It got my attention. That's interesting. I'm not sure. I haven't had any of that's the one out of Texas. I know that Scotch Test Dummies were hyping their stuff up pretty significantly. I haven't got the chance to try any of it yet. Eric Wade says, I'm loving Texas single malts and bourbons in alternative finished cask. Yeah, man, that's a total black hole for me. I haven't got the chance to have any of those. Richie Z, have you tried the Maker's Mark private selects? They're awesome. So interesting that you say that. I have one. It's fuck. You know what? I'm gonna go grab that thing and see what it's all about. Hang on a second. There it is. So I haven't opened this yet. This was exclusive oak stave selection for Ace Spirits, 56.1% ABV, Maker's Mark Private Select. So on the back here, it has basically some check boxes with numbers in it for how many of the finishing oak staves they use. So this one in particular, it had 2 baked American Pure 2 oak staves, 4 seared French Cuvée oak staves, 2 Maker's Mark 46 oak staves, 1 roasted French mocha, and 1 toasted French spice. Fuck, I didn't realize that. Man, this this one sounds amazing. Yeah, obviously haven't had the chance to open it yet, but this is one I've actually been sitting this a while. I got this for like $55, I think. But just it's got some real weird stuff going on in it. I'm not a huge fan of wheated bourbons, but this one just has so many interesting things happening. I don't know. I'm really eager to try it. I'm sure I'll do a review of it once I get the opportunity. You have got to try Balcone, says Eric Wade. Okay. Which one would you recommend? I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with any of their stuff. I know that they're out of Texas. Richie Z says rare breed is on my immediate buy list. Yeah, totally. It should be. Eric Wade says Long Branch is enjoyable. 43. Yeah, man. I have a review. I've already recorded it. It'll be up in the next week or so about the Long Branch. I kind of agreed with you. It was enjoyable. Richie Z says, grab it's really good stuff. Man, y'all are getting me hyped on this Balcone stuff. Whiskey Sneerson says, the not so rare breed is my favorite. Yeah, totally agree. It ain't so rare, but it is definitely my favorite of the Wild Turkey lineup. I mean, other than the 101, right? I think, look, I just think the 101 can stand up with pretty much anything. I can't think of a comparable bourbon at that $20 price point that comes close to the Wild Turkey 101. You know, some people would maybe argue Buffalo Trace. Some folks might argue with the, the Elijah Craig small batch, old Granddad bottled and bond, Evan Williams bottled and bond. I mean, they're all good, but man, the Wild Turkey rare breed is just, I don't know. I think, or pardon me, the 101. I just think it's the standard bearer for a $20 bourbon. I really do. Richie Z says, does it have mocha staves in the recipe? Yeah, it does. So it's got, it says 1 roasted French mocha stave in this. Who knows? Yeah. This one will be interesting, man. Maybe I'll crack it tonight. I don't know. My palate's going to be pretty torched after this Ugadal. Oh, man, mocha staves makes it phenomenal. All right, now you're getting me excited about it. That's a steal, says Whiskey Ace. Yeah, it was like, it's a place out called Ace Spirits. They're in Minneapolis, and, it depends on what state you live in, but they ship. So if you live in a state that you can get stuff shipped to you, they do pretty good stuff. They have a lot of exclusive barrels. They do a lot of Knob Creek picks. I got 2 15-year-old Knob Creek single barrel picks from them. which I'm really, really excited about opening eventually. I've got some 14 years from them too. You know what else I got? I got an old Pulteney single cast from them for like $100. So I got 13-year-old single cast. They do pretty good stuff. Never been disappointed with any of their picks, to be honest. Whiskey Ace says, yeah, usually 65 plus. Yeah, usually about so, right? Richie Z says, Phil, Whiskey Wednesday channel gave his Maker Select a 10 out of 10. Oh, shit. All right. Eric Waite says, start with the Balcones single malt. They're huge. Interesting. So they're doing a single malt, huh? Okay. Done with beer, mellow corn time, says Whiskey Ace. Man, I've never had mellow corn. That's one of those whiskeys that people have a lot of opinions about. I've always been interested in trying that stuff eventually. I'd love to hear how it is. Eric Waite says, I'm now an official Texas whiskey pimp. Oh, man, get out of here. You crazy, dude. I'm, the Long Branch is, I think, the closest thing to a quote-unquote Texas-influenced whiskey I've had. So I'm gonna keep my eye open for that Balcone stuff, though, man. It sounds like it's good stuff. This is a single malt. We'll grab a bottle in a week. Richie Z says, yeah. Richie Z says, Moses and is that Moses Chun? Really? Oh, that's cool, man. Earthquake Pippin ain't easy, says Sneerson. Dude, that's real. Man, y'all getting on some real talk. It's midnight here on the East Coast. Everybody's getting real. Oh, man. I got to tell you, though, the first time I had Ardbeg Ugadal was New Year's of 2018. I was at a friend's house, and he's actually one of the people that got me into Scotch. I actually dog sat for the cat once, and he had a whole bar. He's like, "Oh, just try whatever you want." And I think the first Scotch that I sat down with was I was looking at his bottles. I grabbed the Oban 14. I was like, "Man, Scotch is where it's at." I didn't realize. And so I had a bunch of glasses of that, and then he had an Ardbeg 10 and whatnot. So fast forward a year later, I was over there for his New Year's party, and I thought I was grabbing an Ardbeg 10, and I looked over and it was the Ugadal, and I'm like, what the fuck is the Ugadal? I know it's 70, 80, 90 bucks, but what's it all about? And found out it had that kind of sherry cask finish thing going on, and man, I've been in love with this stuff ever since. I think that the Lagavulin Distillers Edition comes close to this, but it's just not quite as robust, I think, as this one is. I think this is honestly my favorite Scotch ever still, of stuff that's reasonable. Can't go wrong with it. So glad to celebrate and honor Ardbeg Day with some Oogie. All right. What else we got going on? Richie Z says, it's actually not bad. Haven't had a bad bottle in Bond whiskey yet. I'm going to try Mellow Corn Old Fashioned. Ooh, that's interesting. So an Old Fashioned for me, being from Wisconsin, the home of the Old Fashioned, not to sound too snooty and pretentious, but in Wisconsin, to be completely real with y'all, I'll share a little bit of knowledge about Wisconsin. So in Wisconsin, they actually, a proper Old Fashioned is made with brandy, not whiskey. But man, I'll tell you, everybody there orders it with whiskey. But when it started, it was a brandy-based drink. I like high rise with Old Fashioned, so I'll be really interested if mellow corn is what I think it is, which sounds like 100% corn, chilled out mellow whiskey. I'd be really interested to hear how that holds up in your Old Fashioned, brother. Richie Z says, "Do you like Oogie more than the Corey Brecken?" Yes. Whiskey Sneerson says Oogie greater than Corey. Yeah. I think the Corey Brecken, the first time I had it, that was the most intense whiskey I'd ever had. That stuff was a punch in the face like no other. I still have some in the sample bottle. I've not bought another bottle of it, though, whereas I've bought about 5 or 6 bottles of Oogie. There's a place out in California that ships to D.C. that sells Oogie for $54 a bottle. I'll let you know the website if you want to know. But man, when I saw that, I was like, give me 3 or 4 of those, and I'm going to throw them in the bunker because the stuff's like 70, 80 bucks otherwise. Richie Z says, okay, Whiskey Ace is interesting, and it is 100% corn. Yeah, I guess that's not surprising. I've never had it, though. To be honest, I don't even think I've seen that on the shelf anywhere around here. You know what I did see today was Ancient Age 10-year-old bourbon, which I know some people are hyped about. If you think it's worth buying, it was like 25 bucks, maybe less than that. No, it was much. It was 25 bucks for like a 175 of it or something like that. So I almost considered picking that up. Eric Waite says, I made an old-fashioned with a Highland Park Magnus. Nice with a little smoke. Ooh, yeah, I like the sound of that. The Magnus, I thought, is pretty decent. And actually, I think as a mixer, the Magnus, well, I think is like at the same level as maybe a little bit lower quality than the 12. I think Magnus would actually be better for a cocktail than the 12. Richie Z says, is Corey more complex than the Oogie? That's tough. I think yes. I think if I had to say, I'd say yes, but not by much. The Corey Vrecken just has a couple other dimensions, but it's so much more peppery. The Oogie, I think, while it's really robust and like meaty and has that obviously the sherry finish, the Corey Vrecken, I don't recall what it's all aged in. I think it's got some French oak. It's just much more. It's much sharper. It's much spicier, I guess is what I would say. So, it depends what you like, whatever you're into, whatever makes you think, whatever floats your boat is the way to go. For me personally, I just thought the Ugadal was right in my wheelhouse. I learned when it came to peated stuff over the last year that it's that the peat, but with that sweet sherry kind of fruit finish that just is my perfect scotch. And the Oogie is that in spades. As I mentioned, Lagavulin Distillers Edition is also a really, really good one that's kind of in that same vein. I like both of them a lot. Some of the Lafroig Carchus releases have been in that vein. I think the 2016 it was a Madeira cask, which was pretty good. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was pretty good. The 18 Carchus, which was the Fino cask, I thought was a really good one. And what I hear is, yeah, and this should excite y'all if you haven't heard it yet. The Lafroig Carchus for 2019 is the Lafroig Triple Wood at cask strength. So much like in 2017, when it was the quarter cask strength, they're amping up the ABV on some of their standard release again this year. So the Triple Wood, which also has a sherry finish, I think that, and I haven't been this excited for a Carchus in a while, because the Triple Wood I think is a really, really good one, and I think will be freaking fantastic. So keep your eyes open for that. Eric Wade, once in a while I go to DC on business and usually near Crystal City. Yeah. That's I am literally right where the Potomac and the Anacostia rivers converge. So I'm right in Southwest DC. I'm actually only going to be here for a few more weeks. I'm moving to Philadelphia, but yeah, I've been here for a couple of years, and yeah, Crystal City is 3 metro stops down from me, brother. Richie Z says Melicorn's like $9 to $12. Jeez, I should definitely get a bottle of that. Yeah, for that much money, it's worth trying for sure. Whiskey Ace says it was, I think, probably 10-star, which isn't 10 years anymore. I actually don't recall what that was in reference to. Oh, maybe the Melicorn. Eric Waite says Magnus is under 40 and makes a good mixture, especially if you want a wee bit of smoke. Yeah, totally. I've had the Magnus neat, and I thought it was pretty good, really chocolate fudgy. So it was good stuff. Obviously it's a marketing thing for them, non-age statement kind of entry level, but Highland Park makes good stuff. GZ, I take it Oogie is more approachable than Corey. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to characterize it. I think the Corey Vrecken will definitely throw you for a loop. Good stuff though. I mean, definitely not hating on it at all. I just, if you ask me, I'd take the Oogie. All right, so what we got here? Oh wow, 12:15. Any y'all on the East Coast staying up late? Cheers, y'all. Happy June 1st. Corey had a little more oil to me, says Whiskey Ace. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. Sneerson, mellow corn is $50 up here. I think I'll pass. We get gouged on bourbon. That is quite the markup. Sneer, what are you in Canada? I mean, but y'all got that like higher cost of living and or whatever, higher living standards and stuff. That, the healthcare and whatever. But yeah, I know. Quig tells me a lot about, the prices in Canada. They definitely are a little bit more punitive with those excise taxes, no doubt. Sneerson says that's unacceptable and secondary. Yeah, sounds like it. Totally. Sneerson, it's like a $15 bottle in Kentucky, says Whiskey Ace. Yeah. All right, so we got an update on Whiskey Ace's Old Fashioned with the mellow corn. He says it's good, a little mild, could amp it up with rye or something. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I would have figured, man. I would have for an Old Fashioned. Some of my go-tos have always been Old Granddad Bottled in Bond, Wild Turkey 101, Rittenhouse Bottled in Bond, rye, which I think is a really good one. And also, if you're really interested in trying something, try the Ransom Old Tom Gin, which is basically like a barrel-aged gin. I know it may sound crazy, but it's amazing in an old-fashioned. It's unique, but it has some of those notes that you'd look for in like a bourbon or a rye that you put in there. It's got spice. The juniper is pretty mellowed out by the barrel aging that they do. It's pretty good stuff. Whiskey Ace says, love Philadelphia. Yeah, cheers, man. You visit a couple times a year? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm moving to West Philly. In a couple weeks. Should be an interesting adventure for sure. Richie Z says, what happened to your bro? Yeah, I don't know, man. They're still out hitting those stogies. I'm not sure what they're up to. All right. Whiskey Ace. This is 100 proof, though, and very similar to bourbon. Oh, interesting. I didn't know mellow corn was 100 proof. Makes sense. But, yeah, I can imagine it's probably still smooth given the mash bill is, all corn. Richie Z says, this is great live, brother. Hey, Richie. Cheers, man. Appreciate all the comments that and feedback you share on my reviews, and just love having you around for all these live streams, man. Great having you here tonight. Oh, Oogie. Never fails. Whiskey Ace. There is some heat spice. All right. Well, I wonder how young that is, Whiskey Ace. And you did, yeah, I suppose at like 50% ABV, you probably get something. I'm curious what kind of spice it is. Sneerson, I smoke a cigar most days. It'll be gone about an hour and a half. Shit, I won't last that long. I could give you some food recommendations, Reverend. Yeah, Whiskey Ace, please do, man. My email is rabbitandred78@gmail.com. Hit me up, let me know. And if you're ever in town or you're going to be in town this summer, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm moving into Spruce Hill. So I'm going to be on like 45th and Locust in West Philly. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. It's a really cool town. I've got to hang out there a little bit, and yeah, looking forward to a little adventure, all things considered. Who else we got here? All right. Richie Z. Cheers, Eric, Donner, and Ace. Yeah, right back at you, Richie. Creek Map Tips. Hi, guys. I think I missed your brother. You did. Well, he's in theory still here, but he's out smoking a cigar right now. Earlier in our live stream tonight, oh yeah, they totally tuned off. Earlier in our live stream tonight, we did a review of a Four Roses store pick. All right, Whiskey Sneerson's Cheers Z. Whiskey Ace it's bottled in bond for a year. Oh, no kidding. Smoke any Cubans? So we got some stogie talk going on right now. And 8 folks on, man. What's up, y'all? Happy June 1st, man. We're rapidly getting into the 6th month of this year already, man. Where the hell did this year go? I hope y'all are enjoying your evenings. Be curious to hear if anybody's having any pours right now. As y'all know, I am rocking the oogie. I think I probably got another short pour in me tonight before I got to call it and wrap things up. But it's been great hanging out with y'all. And so I saw that Eric Waite said he was going to Scotland again this year, and it looks like it's an annual thing for him. That's amazing. But it's been on my radar for a while, and I might get the opportunity to go there. I think I might make it happen this summer, in which case I'll definitely be doing some streams and trying to bring back as much as I can. Eric Waite says it's 9:19 in California. Where are you in Cali, Eric? I know we got a couple other California folks in the house. Richie Z says, Eric, do you have any favorite whiskey channels you watch? Yeah, I do. I definitely have some favorites. I love Eric Waite's stuff. Yeah, I'm going to give him the shameless plug because he's here. What other ones do I really like? I mean, I love Fu Quig stuff. Fu Quig's just got a soulful, like, just no pretension, enjoying life, peaceful, easy kind of vibe. I love I've done a bunch of streams with Quig. I love Quig's videos. Single Malt Review. These 2 cats from Australia. Single Malt Review is one of my favorites. They do great stuff. Ralphie, of course. I mean, you can't go wrong with Ralphie. Ralphie does great stuff. And so I make sure to check his stuff out. I like whiskey.com stuff to a degree. Some of their videos get a little bit like it's like they review almost everything, so I can't really keep up with half of their stuff. But you know, Horse Looting and his son, man, they're doing good stuff. They keep it real. Jason Whiskey Wise, I like his videos quite a bit. Who else do I watch on a regular basis? Man, Whiskey in the Six, you know, I'll tune into his stuff pretty much every once in a while. I think that he does some really fun stuff. Oh, and I got to give a plug out to my guy, Alan, the whiskey friend, who's been doing videos, I think maybe about as long as I have. He lives in Scotland. He's got great stuff. He's a big Kilkerran fan. If you're interested in like getting reviews on any of the Kilkerran releases or Glengoynes, check out the Whiskey Friend. He's got a bunch of great videos on that stuff. I really enjoy his stuff. He puts them up a couple times a week too. I mean, he's able to do it more frequently than I can, unfortunately, but he's got a lot of good videos. Yeah, I think there's a couple other ones that I check out here and there, but I think those are the main ones that I'm always tuning into. And honestly, like those are the things that you know, kind of got me to wanting to even do this. I was like tasting whiskey. I started writing reviews on distiller.com and, you know, just kind of sharing my dumb 2 cents about whiskey and shit. And so, you know, I was like, oh, hell, I could probably try this YouTube thing out. I did a couple live streams with Quig and, yeah, decided to kind of throw my hat in the ring. And, you know, I don't have much flair to it or nothing, but it is a lot of fun to, you know, share your thoughts with folks and hear what everybody thinks about things. Richie Z says, have you ever watched Solig? Yeah, Solig whiskey reviews. You know what? That's another one that I actually check out somewhat frequently. I think they're in the Netherlands. Those guys do some really good stuff. And they're always like out in the woods. Like they're always out like testing their whiskeys out in the woods. I think they kind of got an interesting approach to it, but they do good stuff for real. I like the Scotch Says Dummies too, you know, I mean, who doesn't, right? Like those guys are fun, and it's fun watching how much their whole program has changed over the years. Like you go back and watch some of their videos from 3-4 years ago versus now, you're like, wow, like those guys made a serious investment in what they're doing, and they're doing a really good job. And I mean, mostly everybody in the whiskey community's been inspiring folks like me to do the same shit and sharing their good 2 cents about things. So I learned basically how to drink scotch and how to get into scotch because of watching all these people's videos. Speaking of, did I tell you I like Oogie? It's the stuff, y'all. Don't sleep on it. Check out thirdbasespirits.com, California. If you live in a state that ships, $54 a bottle. Like all the time. So grab it. Remedy Liquor too, which is in Glendale, California, also ships, and they do it for like 56, 57. Stupid. A bottle of Ugadal in DC right now is like $110. I stocked up online, man. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear a little bit about what you all think about Oogie, or not even Oogie, just Ardbegs in general. If you got any favorite Ardbegs. Whiskey Ace, is that Ardbeg Ugadal? You know it is, my friend. You know it is. Eric Waite reminded me that Ardbeg Day, we're in Ardbeg Day season, so I had to go grab some Oogie. He said, Jesus. What's up, man? Y'all, I'm getting a little bit loose. This is great stuff. I also have a bottle of Glen Scotia 15 sitting here next to me, but there's no way I can drink another dram of this after drinking Oogie, because my palate is freaking torched. But this is another gem, man. I think somebody mentioned the Glen Scotia Victoriana earlier, which I haven't had the chance to have. I think they also have like a double cask. I haven't got the chance to try that either, but man, this Glen Scotia 15 is just legit. Whiskey Ace, dude, you are not lying about New Jersey being my friend after I moved to PA, because PA's got those government stores, and so like the selection is limited. But Philly, right across the river from New Jersey, and the fun part about that, so I actually get stuff shipped from. I'll find Jersey liquor stores with good prices and have it shipped here to DC. So I've been doing that for a while. So I know a couple spots in Jersey already, but if you know any other ones, let me know. But I know a couple ones that ship that are really good. Yeah, it's like 79 in PA for real. Yeah. Oh, you live in PA too, Ace, says Creek Map Tips. I think Creek Map Tips must be also a PA. Creek Map Tips is familiar. It's Ben Arlego's channel once. We were one of his moderators, I think. Richie Z says, Eric, is your move job related? No, it's not. It's personal. Just got to move on to a new adventure. So gonna embrace it and looking forward to it in a lot of respects. Victoriana is glorious. Well worth buying 2 bottles. Interesting. Jersey had a good selection. Is the Victoriana, that's a non-age statement one, right? But what's the rub on the Victoriana? It was aged in, man, I wish I could remember. My memory is escaping me right now, y'all. I'd love to try it in comparison with this Glen Scotia 15, because this is one that I picked up. I think it was a Ralphie review that inspired me into this one, but I was like, damn, because I'm a big fan of the Springbank stuff. I haven't had a lot of their things, but I'm a big fan of their 12-year-old cask strength. And this one is great. The 15 is just great, and it flies under the radar. I think if it's a really good Highland malt, deep fruit. It's got some of that. Well, it's not a Highland. It's actually a Campbelltown, but it's got a lot of those similar notes. But it has a little bit of that. It's not peat, but it's like that kind of musty funk that you get out of a Springbank. it's still got it. And like, man, if you like that flavor in a Scotch, this stuff is amazing. Richie Z says Victoria is in an AS. He loves the 15 now. Okay, right on, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open for that Victoriana. You know, that's one I actually haven't seen available too often. Whiskey Ace says Ben Lego was here last time. Yeah, I saw you join too. Ben Lego will go live sometime soon, but he stopped doing live shows. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So I think I'm at the end of my Oogie, and to be honest, I think I'm probably going to get my evening concluded here. It was really great hanging out with y'all. If you joined late, do scroll back and check out the vid that I did, or some of the content earlier with my brother when we were reviewing the Four Roses 11-year-old single barrel store pick. Really, really great stuff. And yeah, till next time, man. Y'all have safe and fulfilling evenings. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.